These are some of my favorite desserts for Christmas. Dipped cherry cookies, German chocolate pie, yum. Candy cane shortbread bars, which were absolutely delicious, and peppermint chocolate cookies. So let's get started. Well, another cookie for Valentine's, or really just any time. It's very good. I'm going to be making dipped cherry cookies. It's similar to shortbread, and then we're going to dip it afterwards in white chocolate. All right, so let's get started on Darlene's table. Let's chop up these maraschino cherries. You can see how fine that I'm chopping them. All right, we're going to lightly pat these cherries dry, but you don't want them dry, just lightly. You don't want to get all the moisture out. 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, then ½ cup of sugar, 2/3 cup of finely chopped white chocolate. I use Callets. You can buy those on Amazon. And then ½ cup of finely chopped maraschino cherries, almond extract, and 1 cup of butter, cold butter that's been cubed. So I'll start with the sugar. We'll give this a little mix. Next will be the butter. This is 1 cup. Looks like more, but that's because it's been cubed. First I'm going to coat all of it with flour, and then I'll start cutting the butter in. And first I will use a pastry cutter to do that. So next I'm going to do it much like I make a pie dough. I'm going to do it with my hands and do it lightly. We want small pieces, not chunks, of the butter in this dough. All right, now I'm going to add the chocolate. See how finely chopped it is? 2/3 cup of white chocolate. There are the cherries. Be sure to reserve some of the liquid out of the jar of cherries. I found that out. Add the almond extract. Mix this up real well. So I added a tablespoon of the cherry juice. That made the dough stick together better. See, now it's pressing together. Adding the tablespoon of cherry liquid actually gave this cookie a better cherry flavor. All right, that dough's sticking together well. We'll start to make the cookies. I'm making about 1-inch balls. Roll them up, put them all on the cookie sheet, and then we'll do the pressing. I decided when I was finished with this that I would use the red sugar to press them down, and I didn't use the 1/4 cup of reserved white sugar. Now I'm putting just 1 drop on the bottom of my cup, and it does not mess up the sugar, I promise you. Then I press it down gently, don't go too far. All right, into the oven we're going to go with these. Into the oven at 350 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes. Mine actually took about 16 minutes. You want the edges lightly browned. All will be moved to the wire rack and let all of them cool completely before we dip them in the melted white chocolate. So this is the melted white chocolate and 2 teaspoons of Crisco. I did it first for 40 seconds and stir. Now this white chocolate can get hard very quickly. You can burn it very quickly. So I did it for 40 seconds the first time, and it only took 20 the next. Now that doesn't look melted, but you start stirring it, stir it and stir it. Press it down. It is, see, I did no longer in the microwave. Just 40 seconds, then 20 seconds. You just have to really stir it and beat it, and it won't be all melted. Now we're going to dip each cookie and let them dry. And if you choose, you could put another type, maybe hearts or whatever. I chose to leave them like this because I already had the red sugar on there. Dipped cherry cookies. One of the advantages of watching this channel is that you get the benefits of trial and error. This recipe is a great example. The first time I made this cookie, I could not make the dough stick together well. As such, they were too crumbly. I didn't give up. For the second batch, I just lightly patted the cherries and reserved liquid from the bottle. I have adjusted the recipe to reflect what I did. And boy, did they come out great. They are very similar to a shortbread cookie, but with a softer texture. Dipped in white chocolate with lots of cherry flavor, this makes a wonderful gift. Great to share at a party or put into tins for gifts. I certainly hope you try these, and please let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all for this video. I think you know what to do and where you can find the recipe. So until next time, God bless, and come back to see what's cooking on Darlene's table.
Oh my God, Darlene, that's a good piece of pie.
Great. Let me show you how to make it. Today I'm making a German chocolate pie with a topping much like you put on a German chocolate cake. So let's get started. This is an 11-inch pie crust that I made several weeks ago. When I make pie crust, I'll make 6 to 9 at a time and stack them with a sheet of wax paper between each one and put them in the freezer. We're going to pre-bake this pie shell from frozen. This prevents the pie shell from shrinking. Place it in a 425F preheated oven for 20 minutes. I'm removing the silicone pie weights, and I'm going to put it back in the oven for about 8 to 9 minutes to complete baking. Back in we go. See you in 8 minutes. Now the pie shell is done, and we'll start making a chocolate filling for the pie. Here are the ingredients for the next step, which is cooking the chocolate filling. You'll find the ingredients listed in the description of this video. In a medium saucepan, put 2/3 cup of sugar, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then mix this very well. Now I'm adding 3 cups of half and half that I've blended 4 egg yolks in, and we will cook this on a medium heat, continuously stirring. Okay, this is looking good. It's thickened up, and we're going to turn off the heat. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. I added 3 tablespoons of water to a 1/2 tablespoon of gelatin. They call this blooming the gelatin. Then 2 packages of German sweet chocolate. That's a full 8 ounces. Each package is only 4 ounces. The recipe says to melt the chocolate and butter in the microwave until smooth, but you can do this in the pot. It's what I've always done. Stir the chocolate until it melts and is blended very well along with the butter and the gelatin. Now add vanilla, about a teaspoon, maybe a little more. It doesn't have to be exact. Now you can see the filling is done, and we poured it in the pie shell, smoothing it out. And I'm going to put a piece of saran over the surface and press it down. This will prevent the skin from forming while chilling in the refrigerator, and the saran will pull right off. Here are the ingredients for the German chocolate topping. Again, I've included this list in the description of this video. I'm going to make the topping for the German chocolate pie. 1/2 cup of sugar, 2/3 cup of evaporated milk, 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. I'm going to take my whisk and whisk this very well. Over a medium heat, we'll add a 1/4 cup of cubed butter, small cubes. I'll heat this until the butter is melted. The butter is melted. I'm going to bring it to a boil and then cut the heat down to a slow simmer and cook for about 2 minutes more until the topping is thick. See the bubbles? It's starting to boil. We're going to let it go for the 2 minutes until thick. The topping is thickened. It's time to put in the pecans. This will cool it off a little bit, and then we're going to add the toasted coconut and give it a good stir. This is the same topping you put on a German chocolate cake. We're going to set this aside now and let it cool until our pie has cooled completely. Our pie has cooled. Now we're going to spread this German chocolate topping generously on top of the chocolate pie. Put it back in the fridge and let it chill before serving. There you have it, a German chocolate pie. We hope you'll give it a try soon. If you like chocolate pie and German chocolate cake, you're going to love this. My husband sure did, and the first piece always goes to the cameraman. This morning I'm making candy cane shortbread bars. So let's get started, okay? Come with me. On Darlene's table. I'm going to start by creaming the butter and brown sugar. This will be about 5 or 7 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Okay, about every minute or so, I'm going to push down the sides. But I'll keep doing this until it's light and fluffy. You'll know that it's the right amount of time by the color change. See how light the butter and sugar is? Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of peppermint extract and 1 egg yolk. I'm going to blend this all together, and then I'll start adding the flour in gradually. This is a very nice shortbread, very buttery shortbread. All right, it's all mixed. We've got all the flour in. I've lined this 13 by 9 baking sheet with parchment paper, leaving a good overhang so I can lift this out later. Just spread it around and I'll start to press it in evenly. It's only got a 1-inch lip. That's all you need to frost and do everything to these cookies. Press around, and then I'm going to press some more. I want to push those edges down. This is shortbread. There's no leavening. There is an egg. I'm going to use a 1 cup measuring cup to press this flat and into the corners all the way around. I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for 16 to 19 minutes until the edges are brown. If you enjoy this content, now is a good time to like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you will be notified when the next video comes out. All right, this is ready. Now, it will have to cool completely before we go on to the next step. This is the buttercream, the first layer for the shortbread bars. So I've got 2 cups of confectioner sugar, a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I haven't ever made something called buttercream quite like this. This is 2 tablespoons of milk, 2 drops of red food coloring, and a 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract. Well, that's nice and smooth. This is the buttercream. It's going to be a thin layer on top. I'm going to spread this around. It's going to be a thin layer. Move it, turn it. You know? You want a thin layer. So I'm really going to spread this out. Of course you can omit the food coloring, but it really makes this cookie pretty. Okay. I'm going to melt this chocolate in 25-second intervals, and it only took 3 times to melt this in the microwave. You melt it and you stir, 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 stir. And I used the Callebaut Callet, C-A-L-L-E-B-A-U-T. It's such a good chocolate. I have it on a paper plate because this bowl gets really hot in the microwave. It looks like I'm not going to have to do it. So that was 3 25-second spurts in the microwave, and then just stir, 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 stir. Now, one thing you need to remember, use a good grade white chocolate. Don't use those little cubes. Use Callebaut or Ghirardelli, but use those. They're a very good melting chocolate. Spread it gently. I let it cool slightly because you don't want to be melting your buttercream. Okay. Now, you can do your own peppermint, or I buy this every year and use it for all kinds of things. I didn't even use half a jar, about 1/3 of a jar. All right, now this has to set up. Once it's all set up, then we're going to cut it. Candy cane shortbread bars. These bars are a festive and indulgent dessert, perfect for spreading holiday cheer. The rich and buttery shortbread base is so crumbly and tender. On top of the shortbread is a layer of decadent buttercream, and then another layer of white chocolate on top of that. Finally, soft peppermint is generously sprinkled over the top, which is not only visually stunning, but a delight to eat. So good and so easy to make candy cane shortbread bars. It will make perfect gifts for Christmas. Maybe Santa would like to have a bar or 2 with a cup of coffee. I really hope you try this recipe soon and let me know what you think. You will find this recipe on my website, darlenestable.com. So bye for now, God bless, and come back for more goodness right here on Darlene's Table. Good morning. I'm going to make a peppermint hot chocolate cookie. Now that's a little chocolate cookie with cocoa. Then it has marshmallow cream, just a little bit on the center after it's baked. drizzled with chocolate and sprinkled with peppermint. Not only is it delicious, but it is the prettiest little cookie you ever saw. So let's get busy on Darlene's table. All right, so I've mixed together the flour, cocoa, baking soda, and salt. I'm going to set this aside until the sugar and butter have been creamed. All right, so now I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar, and this will take 5 to 7 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Okay, I'm going to push the sides down. We still have a good ways to go. Push the sides down again, and I'm going to add the egg and the peppermint extract. Egg and a teaspoon of peppermint extract. The Nielsen Massey brand of flavoring are really my favorite. This is the cocoa baking powder. I'm adding the dry ingredients in batches. Okay, the rest of the flour. All right, I preheated the oven. I'm going to use a 1 tablespoon scoop. I want these about 2 inches apart. I'm going to flatten them just a little bit. Flatten them just a little bit. Not much, because they'll spread out. These are going to cook 10 to 12 minutes at 375 degrees. And what I want to see is I want to see cracks across the top. And then they're going to be removed from the oven. If you get the cracks, they're very small, just slight. All right, so out of the oven. All right, put them on a cooling rack and let these cool completely before you take the next step. I'm melting the chocolate, and I added about a tablespoon of Crisco. That'll help thin out the chocolate because I'm going to just drizzle it across the cookie once we put the marshmallow cream on top. I'm doing it in 30-second intervals and really stir it. Only took doing this twice to melt all this chocolate. This time, I'm going to put it on a paper plate. Paper plate doesn't get hot, but it looks like I may not need any more time. Stir it, just stir it. You just keep stirring, and it'll all melt. Okay? Didn't need any more. So 12 ounces of the Ghirardelli milk chocolate only took 60 seconds, but don't do it all at once, 60 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside to cool a little. All right, I'm going to complete putting the marshmallow cream on all these cookies. It'll spread out a little. I only used about 3/4 of the jar, the 7-ounce jar of Jet Puffed Marshmallow Cream by Kraft. Now they're ready for me to drizzle the chocolate. I just cut a small opening in this Ziploc bag, and that's what I put the chocolate in. I'll do a few of them, and then I will put the peppermint on top, a few at a time, to make sure it sticks. Not only is this a yummy cookie, but it's a very pretty cookie for Christmas. Peppermint chocolate cookies. These little cookies are another great gift idea to add to your basket of goodies for Christmas. Chocolate pairs well with peppermint. While in the oven, you could smell the aroma of peppermint in the air, and the crushed peppermint adds a crunchy texture. And if the chocolate cookie isn't enough, milk chocolate is drizzled over the top, elevating this cookie well over the top. I hope you give this cookie recipe a try soon, and please let me know what you think. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed the content we provided, please consider liking and subscribing. That keeps us going. So until next time, God bless, and come back to see me again on Darlene's Table.